don't think it can happen to you.
Violent collision kills 2 people outside Tampa International Airport.
An alleged road rage attack rips 3 families apart. Tonight, we're learning about the boys who were killed.
Prosecutors are going to pursue charges against people who are texting while driving.
That's right. This DUI and murder suspect could get life in prison if convicted.
You don't think it can happen to you. See, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When the sands of time will run out within your hourglass.
New at 10, a hit and run caught on video, and now a teenager and his family are looking for the driver who took off.
He was a victim of a distracted driver hitting the road while riding his motorcycle going 65 miles per hour. He nearly lost his life. Now on a crusade to help save lives and prevent someone else from becoming a victim, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com and now the host of this podcast, it's Howard Drescher.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I am your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and, of course, now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and, of course, on Facebook, it's DistractedDB. You can get this show and all my past archive shows at iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB. Lots to go over. Lots of comments in regards to last week's possible 99.9% chance top story from the previous show, dealing with the senator from Kansas, a member of the Senate, his bad behavior during a DUI arrest, going the wrong way for about 10 minutes, traveling up to speeds of 90 miles an hour, and yet he's still in office. A lot of complaints about that. A lot of things that, well, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't agree with. Why is he not locked up? If it was you, it was me. We're going to move on. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I must say, more and more hit and runs are happening. I got a story here about a family pleads for information in regards to a hit and run that killed a loved one who was riding a moped. A 55-year-old family member is now no longer with us. And the family is looking for justice. At least if you had the guts enough to turn yourself in, or at least if you stayed at the scene, maybe it wouldn't have been your fault. You wouldn't be arrested. Things like that. Also, teenage drivers, youth drivers, I guess I should say, because anywhere when you get your license when you're a teenager up until 25, you really have no clue on how to drive. You're at high risk. If you don't think so, look at your insurance bill and look at mine. Look at somebody that is at my age, and then look at your insurance bill. How much are you paying because you're at a higher risk? Think back when I talk about going to driver education. How important would driver education be for some people? I know my insurance bill when I was 18 years old was, back in the day, to me, it was pretty high. $1,800 for 6 months. 6 months, $1,800. That's $1,800 for 6 months. Times that by 2, that's what I ended up paying. But as soon as I took driver education in school, I passed the test. I showed the insurance company that I had taken driver education in school. It lowered my insurance by almost half, 45%. Sure, I was still paying pretty high up until the time I became 26 years old. Then all of a sudden, the thing dropped down. But they monitored you for a while until you can prove yourself that, one, you're not going to be a crazy guy or girl on the road. You're not going to drink and drive. You're not a distracted driver. You're not any of this. You can go to work, to the store, home, back and forth without causing major chaos on the road. And everything was fine. Your insurance bill got lower and lower throughout the years. I'm just saying. You have to think about that. That's why I harp on, should schools institute some form of driver education? I would have to say so, based on the fact that I know what goes on the freeways out here, at least in Southern California, I know, because I live it, I drive it, I see it all the time. And believe you me, there is nothing, and I say there is nothing worse than being on a freeway when people are speeding up past you. You're doing at least 70, 75, because 70 is the limit out here. I'll push the limit, I'll go 75. I'm going with the flow of the traffic. But every now and then you got your couple of jackasses that will speed up and down the road. Hence, like what happened 2 nights ago when I was driving home. It was like 3 little cars. Zoom, zoom, zoom. They were racing. And you can see them. I'm watching them in and out of traffic. And the only thing I thought about, if one of these guys cut it short and clipped somebody, it's going to be a major crash. I'm going to be stuck in freaking traffic forever. And I thought about, well, when I had that attorney on, Sweet James Bergner, I had asked him a question. If I see morons like this on the road and I can see clearly that they caused a problem, could I sue them? I'm going to have to replay that show at one point in time here, because he had a very interesting answer. I just remember I looked at him when he said it, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So we'll get into that. I might dig up a small clip of that show when he was on. Also, keep in mind, I know we're in April right now. April is Distracted Driving Month. Every day should be Distracted Driving Month. Or every month should be Distracted Driving Month. Every day should be Distracted Driving Day. Because it's out there. It's just out there willy-nilly hanging around. And it just, for the love of me and love of God, somebody, by the time I get done doing this show, I am sure somebody had lost their life. And unfortunately, there's nothing that people are going to do about it, because if it doesn't affect you right then and there, you shrug it off. It's, oh well, doesn't affect me, and then you keep going on with your day. But there's going to be a time in a day where it does affect you, and when it does affect you, then you're going to go, oh my gosh, how could this happen? Why did this even happen? I don't understand it. And yet, for a few short moments, your world will stop and turn upside down. And it's probably going to be that way for the rest of your life, because somebody you love, or maybe you, were involved in a crash that was totally preventable. I'm just saying, I am just saying it because honestly, I think it's the truth. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's just too many crazies out there on the road right now. You know it. I know it. All right, when we come back, a family's plea for information. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast. We'll be right back.
Honey, are you ready to go to the party? We're late.
What? Yeah, don't worry. I'll be ready in 5 minutes, babe.
Really? Can you get off the phone? I'm already ready. We're going to be late.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm almost done.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh, okay, honey. Let's go.
Can you be ready next time? I feel like I'm always ragging on you to get ready for these types of parties.
Yeah.
Isn't the man supposed to be waiting on the lady anyway?
I'm sorry, babe. I know I say this all the time, but I promise. Next time, I really promise next time I'll be ready, and I'll be ready to go by the time you get home.
Gosh.
Let me see who that is. I'm waiting to see if my friend is actually going to be at this party.
No! Leave your phone alone. You know that scared me last time. You nearly hit someone walking in a crosswalk.
What? No, you're crazy. Look, I told you don't tell me what to do. I got this.
Stop the car! Stop it now. I just can't be with someone who doesn't care about my life, not to mention their own.
Babe, wait, come back. This isn't happening, is it?
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast.
All right, welcome back to DistractedDriversBusted.com podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course Facebook is DistractedDB. You can get the show on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Type in the keyword DistractedDB, and you can get this show as well as all the archive shows that I've done in the past 7 years. Okay, so here's a story where a family is pleading for help. They are seeking your help in any way, shape, or form from a last Saturday night where a 55-year-old was riding his moped and was killed early. Of course, it was earlier in the month, to tell you the truth. And the story's now just pretty much coming to light. I think it happened somewhere around April 1st, somewhere around 1st or 2nd. And as far as what I've gathered here on the information, the family is still seeking justice, trying to find out who is the one that ended up killing this young man. And I looked at the video. I saw it on KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles. And clearly, that vehicle hit that guy on purpose, in my mind. In my mind, it was on purpose, and this is the reason why I say this, is because of the fact there were 3 lanes. The moped was in, like, the left-hand lane. And the vehicle that came up and hit the moped driver clearly smack on in the left-hand lane. The vehicle could have just veered to the right a little bit and been on their merry way. But that's not exactly what happened. And here's a story from KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles. And I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
And Rick, we have been speaking with the family, and as you can imagine, they are simply devastated. This deadly hit and run happened on this stretch of Crenshaw Boulevard, and tonight, LAPD and the family are asking for the public's help in catching the suspect.
He was just a young man searching out still for his career to be.
Kind and loving. That's how family members describe 55-year-old Reed Childress.
We need closure. We're just heartbroken, overwhelmed with grief.
Childress was struck and killed by a motorist on Thursday, April 1st, just after 2:30 p.m. The driver never stopped. The collision captured on surveillance video. The victim was riding his moped, traveling southbound on Crenshaw Boulevard near Westmount Avenue. Los Angeles police say a black Ford Flex SUV slammed into him from behind. Paramedics transported Childress to a local hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Investigators canvassed the area and recovered video of the suspect fleeing the scene. Detectives say they'll be releasing photos and video of the driver and his passengers.
And a person to ride over someone like it's paper and just keep going, no brake light or anything, I'm wondering what kind of person this is. So yes, I would like them to come forth or they be found.
LAPD is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the identity, arrest, and conviction of a suspect in this case. Reporting live in Leimert Park, John Finolio, KTLA 5 News.
All right, and again, I want to thank KTLA Channel 5 for the use of this audio. And yes, I would like to see that person get known, become known, or turn themselves in and do the right thing. Clearly, it was very, very well intended in my mind. You intended to hit that person. Mr. Childress didn't have to die. Mr. Childress didn't have to lose his life for your stupidity, your ignorance, or your selfishness. And that's exactly what it was. Nothing more, nothing less. And here's a stupid thing from you that you probably don't even realize is the fact that it was all caught on camera. You don't think that the police are going to blow up your license plates? They're going to get you. There's going to be front-end damage on that vehicle anyways. You're not going to be able to turn it in and get it repaired without somebody contacting the authorities. And when they capture you, and I hope they do, and when you appear in court, I would like to be there that day because I would like to see the person that killed this guy, Mr. Childress, for no reason at all. You're in a big SUV vehicle. And you probably assume the fact that I'm in that kind of vehicle, I do what the hell I want to do. And you, on the moped, you're in my way. Big dog versus little dog. That's exactly what I see it as. To me, you as a driver are probably the most cowardice person that I've ever known. And I hope and pray that they lock you up for a long time. Because here today, as a society, we have freaking lost our minds. We have lost control. We don't respect elders. We don't respect other drivers. We don't respect ourselves. But it just drives me crazy. Knowing the fact that you've done what you've done. Just on this story alone, I have wasted all my time. If you are teaching your children on how to drive, there's nothing else that I can say to you, because no matter what anybody says or does anything, it's just not worth it. I wasted an extra 5 minutes or so on this story. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast. We'll be right back.
Wake up and text. text, and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast.
All right, welcome back to DistractedDriversBusted.com podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com. And, of course, now this podcast show, you can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV. And, of course, on Facebook, it's DistractedDB. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts is where you can find all my shows, all my past shows. And I want to apologize, not to the person that I was preaching to, but for all the good people out there. For all the good people out there. I wasted way too much time on that driver to think I may not get to all my other stories. So let's just jump right into it. Remember when I was talking about high schools should have driver education? The ages from 18 to 20, 3 of them killed in a car crash. And this story comes from NBC4 L.A. out here in Los Angeles. And I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
We are staying on top of that breaking news that Robin's been talking about in the Florence Graham neighborhood in South L.A. A chaotic scene unfolding as police find 3 young men dead in a violent crash.
Now, a car veered off into several parked cars and a bank, and NBC4's Tony Guignard just arrived at that scene and has the latest. Tony.
Good morning. Yes, I've been spending a few minutes speaking with some of the young women that work here or are here and happen to know at least 1 or 2 of the victims. This is tragic no matter how you look at it. Just go ahead and you can see all of the debris out here. The lives of 3 young men, as you said, taken in this crash, according to the CHP. All of them were between the ages of 18 and 22, all of them riding in the same vehicle. Look at the video. The crash is under investigation, so we can't tell you exactly how it happened or why. But traffic investigators believe the car was going east on Florence when the driver, for reasons unknown, lost control, hit 2 parked cars, and then slammed into the front of the Bank of America here on Florence. This car was a BMW. You can hardly tell that now. We're told excessive speed was a factor, but at the onset of the investigation, at least, it was not believed street racing led to this crash. No matter the cause, 3 lives have been lost. Now, take a look at this video. It gives you a sense and an understanding of the frustration, the emotions being felt by friends and family members arriving at the scene, many of them in disbelief. LAPD and sheriff's deputies were called in to help with crowd control. I'm told about a crowd of 200 showed up at one point. That finally was resolved. Coming back live, 3 young men between the ages of 18 and 22 killed in this crash. As we get additional information, we will certainly let you know. I'm Tony Guignard reporting live. Back to you in the studio.
All right, again, that story came from NBC4 LA out here in Los Angeles, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound. 3 young people, 18 to 20. The 4th victim, still recovering, still in critical condition in the hospital. Hopefully, something good out of this will happen. hopefully he'll remain okay. Realistically, I wanted to get into the top story of the previous week. So,
And now it's time for the top story from the previous show.
all right, this is the top story from the previous show. No surprise here, where we had KSNT TV had the had the good sound of a bad Senate member from Kansas. I don't have time to play the audio today. I will save that audio piece. I'll play two previous shows or top stories from two previous shows. I will reference. This one was from 2 weeks ago, and one of these stories that I did today will be one of them. I'm just so appalled, and I'm just so irritated. And this is me talking right now, not part of the show. I just sit back and I wonder, when it comes to drivers, people driving today, I see a lot of different things. And to be truthful, to be honest, it's getting worse and worse out there each and every day. And if we're young parents or even elderly people and we drive the way that I see people driving, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a generation of youth that think that's the way to do it. We can text and drive. I see it each and every day. And sometimes their cell phone is so close up to their face, they're doing 60, 70, 80 miles an hour on the freeways. And it's just a matter of time before something happens. And honestly, I don't want to be on the road during that time frame. I just wish that we could all just kind of sit back and take a deep breath and go, man, the crash that I just seen over there, that could be me. I don't want to do this to myself. I don't want to do it to my family. I just want to go to work, come back home, because it could be you, or it could be a family loved one, like your wife, your mother, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your niece, your nephew. And it's always the same response. How could this happen? If we sit back and take a look exactly how this can happen, I think we would answer our own question. I think our questions would be answered in seconds, not minutes, not days, not months, not years, in seconds. Maybe we have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, am I part of the problem, or am I the solution? You're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com. Until the next show, remember, I don't want to die today. Do you? Until then, be safe, everybody.